Hi everyone. I wanted to have a look at the ways that I thought alcohol helped me in the past. Complete and utter myths, all of them. So I'm about to debunk them. So the first one that I thought was anxiety. I genuinely believed that alcohol helped calm my anxiety. Now, I'm a very anxious person anyway. I have been from childhood, it comes from trauma, living in a domestically abusive situation as a child. So I realised that when I drank alcohol, I wasn't anxious anymore. And it's probably why I stuck with it as a coping mechanism. But what I didn't realise was alcohol is a sedative, it's actually a depressant. So it calms you down in the same way as a general anaesthetic would. So it does calm your anxiety down, but very temporarily. What I realised was around about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, the anxiety would come back so much worse than it was before. Full blown panic attacks. I had a full blown panic attack at 4:30 one morning, feeling like I couldn't breathe. I ended up in accident and emergency. My SATs were fine. They told me it was a panic attack. Now that hasn't happened to me since stopping drinking. Now I don't get me wrong, because I don't want to lie. I do still have anxiety. I don't have panic attacks anymore. What I did was what really worked for me, not alcohol, but I had therapy and dealt with a lot of trauma from the past. I did a lot of meditation, which sounds very new age woo, and yeah, I know. I scoffed at meditation before. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But it really, really helps. Breathing exercises, mindfulness, it all keeps you in the present, because anxiety is worrying about the future, worrying about things that haven't happened yet. They say depression lives in the past, anxiety lives in the future. I now live in the now, and it's very much more controlled than it ever has been in my life. And I looked at the real reason why I was feeling anxious. Now, 3 months after my mother died from COVID, that's when I stopped drinking. So grief was causing anxiety. Also, menopause. I am that age. Menopause causes anxiety. So if you're still feeling anxious and you've stopped drinking, there's going to be a very good reason for it, and it's going to have nothing to do with alcohol. So the next thing I wanted to cover was sleep. I was convinced alcohol helped me sleep, because the second my head hit the pillow, I was out like a light. But yeah, I was awake 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, when my body was starting to go through withdrawal, and all kinds of chemicals are released in your body at that time. Your body is processing the alcohol, your liver is working flat out. There is so much going on physiologically that you're wide awake. And I had that horrible adrenal fatigue, that wired but tired feeling. And so, when you do imbibe alcohol, it does make you fall asleep, because it's a sedative. We've already covered that. It's akin to having a general anaesthetic, but there is nobody there to make sure you're breathing and make sure your heart is beating, which is terrifying when you think about it. So, yeah, you're unconscious. You aren't sleeping when you're recovering from a drinking episode. And yeah, I still to this day think, how am I alive? How am I possibly alive? I would wake up and instantly vomit sometimes down the side of the bed once. It's which is disgusting, but your body's way of saving your life. But if you have too much in your system, your breathing can stop, your heart can stop, with an alcohol overdose, which is so very tragic. And yeah, do you know what helps me sleep now? Again, meditation, regular bedtimes, exercise, fresh air, all the healthy things, all the things. I am now the way that I wanted to be, way back when I was a drinker. So the next thing I want to talk about was friendship. Now, yeah, I'm going to say I have had a few casualties of where friendship is concerned. I've even had one friend, well, somebody who I thought was a very good friend, say to me, I was going to come and visit you. Shouldn't live in Scotland. I was going to come and visit you, but there's no point because you don't drink anymore. And it's like, oh, really? And I did point out that I wasn't going to stop her from drinking, but I just had to put that down to the fact that this wasn't a friend, this was a drinking buddy. So, if people don't want to be around you because you're not drinking, they're not real friends. They're bosom buddies. And yeah, to be honest, I don't particularly seek out the company of people who are going to get absolutely plastered on a day out with me anyway. It's not fun. They become repetitive, they become loud, they interrupt. You can't finish a story because they've got a bigger one, a better one. And to be honest, my socializing has now gone down by several hours. You know, I can go out with people who are drinking and cope with maybe a couple of hours, but by then I'm becoming overwhelmed and I'm like, I need out of here. And yeah, I go. But I mean, also your sobriety is really, really shining a light on other people's drinking. I know when I was a drinker, I didn't want to be around people who weren't drinking because, you know, they were making me look and feel really bad. And I viewed them with this sort of morbid curiosity as if it was contagious or something. You know, don't give me that sobriety, please. And yeah, you're holding a mirror up to people and they don't like what they see in the reflection. So don't take it personally. To be honest, I have made so many new brilliant friends from stopping drinking online. I don't go to meetings or anything like that, but online through my little Scotch and Dry group on Facebook. And yeah, you know, I've got real deep quality connections now, not just whose round is it, you know, who's who's got the cigarettes, you know. It's nothing like that anymore. It's on a deeper level. It's not shallow and silly nonsense, and you know, you remember the conversations too. So if you're trying to stop drinking, or if you're thinking about stopping drinking, I'm here to tell you that it's so much better on the other side of it. So much better. And I had a little episode, a little blip, a previous video where somebody gave me some Prosecco instead of Nosecco. And do you know what? I wasn't right until like Wednesday. And that was from one mouthful on the Sunday. I had anxiety, I had that horrible impending feeling of doom hanging over me. I had reflux, I had insomnia, and that was just from one mouthful of Prosecco. And do you know what? All it has done is cemented in my mind that it's the disgusting, nasty, carcinogenic chemical that you would use to run the car. And I don't want that in my body. I do not ever want that in my body again. So if you're trying, keep going. You're doing brilliantly, and even just thinking about it is a massive step. Don't ever underestimate that. So I'll sign off for now. Take care. Lots of love. Bye.